Welcome back to Inside Pacer Athletics, brought to you by Concept HR. Alex Whitman alongside Travis Broome. Travis, fall semester wrapping up. Class is about to get done. Basketball season on the rise. We'll get to that a bit later on. Give us a recap of the soccer teams.
Yeah, the men's soccer team went and competed in the Peach Belt Conference Championship tournament. Unfortunately, they lost to number 4 in the nation, Clayton State. So that ended their season. It was great watching them this season. We look forward to more things to come in the future. Now, Alex, how about volleyball?
Volleyball, they were on a hot streak with a 7-match winning streak. Dropped their previous 3. They will finish the season, the regular season, this Friday at Montevallo, and then wait to get the rankings going into the Peach Belt tournament.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Sam LeCrawley for being the Days Inn Downtown Aiken Student Athlete of the Month, so congratulations to her. And also another great story for USC Aiken. The women's basketball team defeated Division I Kennesaw State by 18 points, so congratulations to them. And for more information on that and the men's basketball team, we're going to toss it up to Sports Information Director Brian Ham, where he sits down and talks with both teams' coaches.
All right, now we're going to step in for our women's basketball preview. I'm lucky enough to be joined right now by head women's basketball coach Mike Brandt. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing well, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. I know you're excited, as you're going into your exhibition season. Talk a little bit about the first 2 to 3 weeks of practice.
We've had a good 2 to 3 weeks of practice. I felt that our 8 returning players have done a nice job, and then our new players stepping in there doing a great job and learning very fast. I think this is a smart team. They're picking up things rather quickly. The effort, I think, has been pretty good. We've talked about before the season, not having bad practices, and normally you're going to have a few throughout the season.
Yeah.
But I think we've really only had about 1 so far, and it was more mediocre than bad. So I think their focus is good. I think they're excited about getting started, and I think they've done a good job up until now.
What are some of the new things that fans are going to get to see from your team this year?
Well, especially, having an inside presence,
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5" young lady in there. That's going to be a lot different. So we will have some opportunities to, kind of focus her inside there and spread out the offense a little bit, let her go to work. And we have some other players, 4 or 5 of them that really post up well. So I would imagine they're going to see a little bit more offensive where it's spread out and have one person in the post compared to, what we normally run with a pacer offense at 5 and the continuity. The other thing defensively, I think we have an excellent defensive team. And I think they'll see a lot more pressure defense on the inbounds, full court press.
Yes.
And kind of our philosophy this year is not to let anybody get the inbounds in easy. Wherever we're at, we're going to try to deny it and just take opportunity and possibly get a steal or a turnover every time we have it.
Well, you were picked 5th in the preseason coaches poll. You think that's accurate, or do you think that you just coming off of last, you just think you got some things to prove?
Oh, I think it's fairly accurate. Just if you just base stuff on last year and focus on this year, nobody really knows about this year except for teams that have everybody back or almost everybody back. But I think I think it's a pretty fair observation that or pick that they would pick us around 5th. But we're hoping obviously to be up ahead of that. We know Lander's going to be extremely tough with everybody back, and Clayton State always is. But I think those 2 are pretty clear top 2, and then. Anything below that can be anywhere with 5 or 6 teams filling up in 3rd place.
Well, you got an exhibition this week against Kennesaw State, but next week you open the regular season. Very tough open to the schedule. Talk about the tough scheduling that you had this year.
Yeah, well, the scheduling, sometimes you look at that and you wonder, wow, should I have done that? But I thought we were going to Disney, so I thought we'd have 3 tough games under our belt and then come in there and play those 2 tough teams, Carson Newman and Tusculum. But now we don't. They canceled it off, but. It's a great measuring stick for us. It's going to show us where we're at in the region and, how much we need to improve or if we're going to be, close to being the top of the region. So it's kind of an opportunity for us to really go through and make a big bang if we could win a couple games. And, if we win 1 out of 2, that's not bad. If we lose 2 out of 2 and compete well, then that's something that we can say we're very close to being there, but we're not quite there yet. Maybe motivate our players to work harder.
What's the end goal for this team, or what do you expect come the 1st of March?
I expect us to be one of the best teams in the region. I really do. Whether or not we're ranked in the top 2 or 3, 4 in the region, I don't know. But I think that we're going to be good enough this year to be in an NCAA tournament, and anything short of that will be a disappointment for us, I believe.
Definitely. Well, thank you for your time, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, let's turn our attention to the men's basketball team here at USC Aiken. Blessed enough to be joined right now by head coach Vince Alexander. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing great.
All right. 72 wins over the past 3 years, which is a the best in the state of South Carolina. That's all well and good, but that's the past. Talk a little bit about the future for USC Aiken men's basketball.
Well, I really like our future. I think it's very bright. We've been very blessed here, and we have a tremendous group of young men that are returning. Raymond Nelson, Byron Faison, Kevin Willis, Sterling Cancel, Jesse Solin, Brandon Shepard. You know, these are all guys that I think contributed at some point last year, did a great job there. And then we have a really, really talented group coming in. And, of course, you know, when you start with this group, you start with Miles Holly, Mr. Energy, and then you got Chase Holmes, Kenny Manigault, and also Alvin Brown. You got a return of Scotty Frater, who's a 6'8", 6'9" body. We got some really, really good players here. Great athletic group, and so I'm looking forward to coaching them. I think they're going to be a good group.
Well, everybody else seems to think you're going to be pretty good too. You know, you're ranked 11th nationally in the preseason. You're also the head coach's pick in the league to win the Peach Belt Conference. Talk a little bit about how you temper expectations for your team this year.
Well, you know, we try to keep our players, to get our players to keep everything in perspective. Those are preseason votings. You know, we haven't played a game, and we need to be ready to go out every game and compete. We need to understand that, you know, no one's going to give us anything. As a matter of fact, because we were picked preseason number 1, and we are number 11 in the country, what happens is teams are ready for you night in and night out. So you need to be ready for them night in and night out. And as I've told them, keep that in mind as you go out and play every game. And keep this in mind, okay? No game is going to be easy, and you got a target on your back, and you need to be ready to go every night.
Well, as you've been talking to him about it, you've also been practicing. You got about almost getting close to 3 weeks of practicing so far. How's the team looked, and what have you seen so far from your team in practice?
I tell you, I think we are very athletic. We're very aggressive. Defensively, I think we do a tremendous job. We press. We really get out and run. You know, I like watching this team. You know, I enjoy being with them in practice. They're very coachable. They're really a great group of guys who work very hard. And I say it over and over, we have been so blessed and so fortunate to get such wonderful guys and to be able to do what we have done and accomplish what we've accomplished.
Well, next week, November 11th, the public's going to get a chance to see your team. Not everybody's been able to see your team because you can have scrimmages, but they're not open to the public. And but on November 11th, you have your exhibition against Southern Wesleyan, and then you open the regular season on November 17th against Voorhees. Kind of talk a little bit about the beginning parts of your schedule, and you know, it's not easy. It's going to be a tough way to start the year.
Yes, it will be. It'll be a tough way to start the school year. I mean, start the season. But I do think, however, that our guys are going to be ready for it. They're going to do a great job. I mean, we have some tough games to play. You know, we got the exhibition, and then we have Voorhees, who I think they're probably weaker teams that we will play. And then we have to go to Florida Southern, who's number 5 in the country, and play there. We got a classic here with Virginia Union and Mount Olive, who are both in the top 25. So we got a really good schedule, but I think it should prepare us. And I'm really looking forward to see how we get through this. I think this group has the ability, and you know, only God knows, to get through this schedule and play well and win a lot of games.
You kind of alluded to it, but at the end of the year, when it hits early March and the Peach Belt tournament's about to come back here to the Convocation Center, where do you want your team to be at? What's the most important thing to you?
I want us to be at the highest level that we can play at that time. I want us to be a contender for a national championship. That's what I want us to be. I want us to be out there, you know, at the top of the region, and also the top of the conference, and you know, looking to try to host the region. That's what we like to do. You know, God willing, that happens, and we certainly have the talent. But I've preached to this team over and over that great talent doesn't always win it. It's great talent with great attitudes, and we're moving towards great attitudes.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure everyone out there is looking forward to it too. We'll see you next time on another edition of Inside Pacer Athletics.